Don't worry about that. Anywho, we have a 5R55W in the shop today. This is out of a 2009 Ford Explorer Sport Track. This transmission came in with a issue of setting a PO741 lockup system failure. This transmission has previously been repaired and it's already had a new torque converter and it's already had a new solenoid pack, so on and so forth. I don't expect to find very much internally wrong with this transmission, but since it's already out and we are inspecting because of the failed converter, we want to tear it down and make sure that there's nothing else wrong inside of it. So we're going to get started. We're going to be taking our input shaft speed sensor, our turbine shaft speed sensor, and then our output speed sensor out of it. Now we're going to stand it up and start taking parts off. So you don't hear that thing bounce off the bottom, you got a problem. 1.170. Just blast all 4 bolts out. You can take a vacuum tester and test each valve. It's the lip seal off the side of it and destroys the piston. This one, because I wasn't smart, you have to use an end wrench to take it out of there, or at least break it loose with an end wrench. Should have taken this out before I hung it, but I wasn't thinking. Come here, bolt.
They always make it just a little bit longer than they need to be.
Just a little. Had no impacts. I was like, hold up here. I can't take nothing apart. I ain't got no tools. We're going to use a 5/16 socket. Zip these bolts out. All 3 of these speed sensors are exactly the same. There's physically nothing different about them, so they're all going to go in the same bucket for now. Oh no! Fluid looks nice.
It's brand new.
Looks brand new, don't it?
Then all the metal starts coming out.
Boy, I hope not. All right, let's start by getting the pan off of her and see what we got inside. That is not good. Sometimes you gotta get a little frisky with the bolt. All right, not too bad looking in there. A little bit of fuzz, but nothing too terrible. Filter doesn't appear to have any major defects. Got a little bit of iron on it, but that's okay. All right, we're gonna take all of the 8s out of the valve body and We're going to pull the reverse servo off, and then we're going to take the Torx bolts out of the solenoid body, and then we're going to remove the solenoid body. Last thing that we're going to take off is the 10mm bolt on this side of the control body. I have to grab the right socket because I grabbed the wrong one. Did I not grab the wrong socket? I did not grab the wrong socket. I thought I did. Get our solenoid back out. That's it. Now, it's time to take out the pump. To take the pump out, we're going to be using a pump puller. This one we actually got off of Amazon. Works really well. For a cheaper tool, this one has done a really nice job.
You're just sliding up there.
That's what I was thinking. I try not to get too risky with tightening this thing up on the first try. Don't want to over tighten it and crush the bushing and not be able to get it to pop out. There it comes. There's not exactly a dimple on the end of this input shaft for this thing to stay centered in. So it tries to walk on you. There we are. We knew we'd get her eventually. Now we're going to reach onto this side and we're going to take our servo snap ring out. This can be just a little tricky sometimes with the snap ring likes to get stuck. just like so. I like to use my screwdriver and wiggle the cap a little bit, and usually they'll pop out far enough to get a hold of. Get the servo cover off, and we pull the servo out. I say we can pull the servo out. I don't want to stick. Very interesting. Yeah, we'll get the transmission tore apart to where we can tap on it a little bit. We'll get her out of there. Going to remove the overdrive band anchor and the intermediate band anchor. We're going to reach in and remove the strut for the overdrive band. These struts are directional. There's a wide mouth on the bottom and a narrow mouth on top. The wide mouth faces the bottom of the valve body. Well, top of the valve body, bottom of the case. Always get that a little mixed up there. Use our magnet to retrieve the other one. Same thing. This mount, or this strut, is directional. The square shape faces down. Now that we've got the struts out, we can pull our bands up. Pull our intermediate or input shaft out. Grab a hold of the overdrive assembly. Pull the overdrive Planetary. And pull mid shaft out. So we're going to take a second and we're going to look at the sprag race that is down inside of here. This sprag is really prone to failing on the 5R55W and S and E series of transmissions. This sprag has had a problem since it first began. And it started in the earlier days, the A4LDs or the 5R55E series of transmission. This sprag needs to be replaced anytime you build one. No matter what you're doing to the transmission, this needs to be replaced. You can actually knock this sprag out by putting a punch in one of these holes, tap the punch down, and it'll pop out. Another major area of failure in the 5R55 family is the overdrive Planetary. The overdrive Planetary doesn't receive enough lube oil to the pinions of the Planet, and they'll actually begin to rock on the shaft. So this one's in really good shape, but we typically see that Planetary has failed. Now that we have the Planetaries out on the top, we will be removing this bolt right here. This is a T30 Torx bit. We're going to take that bolt out and then pull the snap ring to remove the center support. Pop the snap ring out. Now we take the bolt out. And the center support should lift straight out. Oh, guy right there is easily lost. So we're going to put the bolt back into the nut retainer and keep that to the side. The center support is another area we're going to take a quick discussion about. The center support in this thing has a caged needle bearing. The caged needle bearing rides right here. You can see the bearing. This race is ultra thin. This little piece of metal right here, this is actually the race for this bearing. These are known for cracking right here along the edge. When they crack, all of your direct clutch feed oil is fed in between this sealing ring and this sealing ring. So if you have a crack right here, the fluid can actually escape going to the direct clutch and cause a third gear problem. So always inspect underneath that bearing for race damage. Pull the bearing out. Now we've got to pull band struts out. I'm throwing inside. Pull that out of the way. Oh, I didn't take my outside snap ring off. Well, that would explain it. Pull this snap ring out of our way. Sorry, there's not a lot of good ways to see right here. Come on. We'll go fishing for that here in a minute. Get the servo popped out. That one's stuck just like the other one. But it came out after the band was out of the way. That anchor is stuck. That anchor should have wiggled off of there. Just got interesting. There it went. For some reason that was stuck on the end of our apply pen. I don't even know how it got stuck on there. That's very strange. Got me perplexed on that one. Alrighty, let's continue down through here. We're going to pull our two drums out, set those to the side. We're going to pull the front Planetary ring gear out. This ring gear has a known issue all of its own. The snap ring right here is a waved snap ring. Notice I can put my screwdriver underneath one part of it, but not under the other part. This wavy snap ring is prone to failure also. I've seen a lot of these snap rings break and go into the forward drum and ruin the forward clutch. So if you're building one, replace that snap ring. Superior makes a really nice one. Going to pull out our front Planetary. The front Planetary, the main issue that we see with these is the Torrington bearing right here likes to fail from lack of lubrication. We'll set that aside for inspection. Sunshell spacer, and down to our last snap ring. And the bottom. We have our rear Planetary and the retaining ring for it. This Planetary we typically do not see any failures with, so not going to talk about anything there. Just set it to the side. Last snap ring of the day. In the very bottom, we have one more snap ring. This is one of my least favorite snap rings to take out, but all the way down here, I'll see if I can't. I don't know if the light helps you guys at all, but can you see that? Here, I'll take my fingers out of the way. You want to try from this side, see if you can see it any better?
Take your light out. Hey, kinda.
Not real good, huh?
Let's see if I can zoom in on it.
Alright, I want to get the snap ring out. Come on, turkey. Always fight this little snack ring. Yahtzee! I'm a winner! Winner!
Congrats.
I know, I'm so excited. Alright, we're going to get our last ring gear out, which has a sealing ring on the back of it, a little Torrington bearing. And we're going to pull out the low sprag retainer. The low band goes around the drum, and there's a one-way clutch or sprag inside of the drum. Set that to the side, and we're going to remove the rear band. The rear band is extremely prone to failure, so yet again, if you're going to be building one, replace the rear band. So, just one last area to discuss. Our forward clutch and our direct clutch. Let's take a look at our clutches. This is the direct clutch. This clutch uses a single-sided friction disc, so we actually have no clutch lining on this surface. It's all on one side of the disc. Got inside spline with an outside spline. All these clutches look to be in really good shape. Let's take a look at the forward clutch. Forward clutch looks to be in really good shape as well. We don't see any heat checking in the clutch. Don't see any issues with the steels. So we're done there. And we might as well take the pump apart. We've done all this work. Let's take the pump apart. Who wants to see what's inside of the pump? Me! Okay. We're going to take our pickle with our pickle and put our pickle on our pickle. And we're going to take these pickle bolts out. These are a T40 Torx bolt. Ta-da! Now, we have dropped all of our bolts. We can talk about some major areas of concern. The relief valve in the 5R1 or 5R55 WS&E series typically has a valve. This unit was upgraded at the time of repair, and the builder decided to install a superior shift kit and a superior relief valve. The superior valve uses a check ball design versus a actual steel valve design. So it's a lot different of a design, but it works really, really well. I have not had one of these in my shop with this check ball design failed after overhaul yet. So just want to keep that in mind. One of the things that can cause the PO741, the main reason that we're inside of this transmission, is this gear. And, oh, excuse me. Whew. Thought I was gonna hiccup. I don't want to hiccup.
Thought about last year there for a minute.
Dude, that was one of those hiccups that come up and I was just like, no, don't do it. Okay, I'm good. I'm good. Back to the topic at hand here. The O-ring that is inside of this gear seals at the converter snout. If this O-ring is damaged during installation or does not seal to the snout of the converter, you can also get a PO741. Another issue that can happen is the sealing ring on the end of the stator tube itself will leak. So anytime you're building one, this sealing ring needs to be replaced and this O-ring needs to be replaced. the integrity of the gear matters a lot. If the inside of the gear has too much wear, see if I can put this sideways. You see how we've got a shiny area and a dark area? Real dark over here and real shiny on this side. What's actually happening, and the reason that we have this wear pattern, is from this rotor walking on the end of the converter. This rotor is actually wore out on the inside of it, causing it to leak around this O-ring. So that alone can cause a PO741. You want to know how much it rocks? Why don't we show you? So we are installing our pump gear onto the converter hub itself, and it does not sit all the way into the hub the way it's supposed to, and I can wiggle this thing no matter how far down I push it. That's with it all the way flattened on there. I can wiggle it just a little bit. With it where it's supposed to ride, I can wiggle it a lot of bit. That wear is a giant leak around the inside of this gear. Major problem. So I'm glad that we found our problem, and I hope that we have shed some light on some of the issues that the 5R, 55E, and S or W family of transmissions can have. So like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next one.